Greetings and welcome to this episode of the Loveseat Therapist. I am Kat Morgan and I welcome you to this video, to this channel, and to this space. What we're going to be doing with this video is talking about a system that I had actually talked about in a previous video, I think from last year maybe, which is called the 5x5 program. What we were doing is exploring 5 areas in our lives that we wanted to expand, we wanted to see upgrade, and dedicating 5 minutes a day on that area in a row, picking those 5 areas and doing them one after another for a half an hour every day. And I wanted to give that a try, had gone through the details of that in that previous video, and want to give you kind of an update on that and how I have incorporated it into my life. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm just giving you guys a nice little background that you can check out and have running in the background for you. This video is an update, as I said, from a previous investigation into the concept of the 5x5 system. I am here to report that personally it was not a viable system for me to incorporate in my life. But rather than tossing the whole thing out, I found that if I was able to commit 5 minutes minimum in those 5 areas, and that made all the difference in the world. If I wasn't just locked into only doing 5 minutes, if I allowed myself the time I needed, if I wanted to keep working on it after a 5-minute minimum start, and that was the key, was picking it as a minimum. Simply saying, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for 5 minutes every day, minimum. But I have the opportunity, if I want to do more of it, to spend more time, to get more in depth, up to a maximum of Y, Z. And make those parameters for myself to begin with. So, for example, if I want to be doing something involving writing or artwork, that honestly, it takes me more time to, it takes me at least 2 or 3 minutes to kind of recap myself, refamiliarize myself, and orient where I was when I left the project previously. And then kind of figure out, guide myself, where am I taking it for this session. That's at least a good 2 to 3 minutes for me personally. So that 5-minute window exclusion, had to shut it down in 5 minutes, literally meant I was writing or working on an art project for 2 minutes, 1 minute, maybe 3 if I was pushing it. So no, that didn't work for me. But if I gave myself the opportunity to spend 5 minutes minimum and allowed myself that window by scheduling things outside of for example, 30 minutes, I could definitely nail 1 or 2 pages of a short story or novel that I'm working on. I've only got like 5 projects going right now in writing. Or I could spend, up to a half an hour doing an art project. Then I could get some real significant work done. And it made all of the difference, not being locked into that 5-minute minimum. So if you gave this system a try with me and found that it didn't work for you as well, what I'm going to be doing in this video is kind of not telling you this is the 5 areas you need to do in your life, and these are the 5 ways that you need to be doing it, or whatever. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm just going to give you what I'm doing as an example. So take notes if you want to take notes. The idea is just, follow along, find the areas that you wanted to expand in your life personally. They may match or not match mine. Okay? This is just a template for you to fill in the blanks from what you know to be important to you personally. Okay? That's all. That's all. Okay? So, how we are going to be successful in our lives just in general. Okay? The key to success in any area. Doesn't matter whether you're doing the 5x5 program, whether you're just, working on a project at work that has its outside of the 5x5, whatever it is, okay? Those projects that you know you needed to get started. The one thing I will tell you is don't pick 5 areas and do 5 brand new things. The way that I made this work for me was that I had started like an exercise routine, and I was able to keep doing parts of it and just give myself that expanded time. I had to do a minimum of sit-ups and leg raises, for example, standing leg raise. And I could stop at that point if I wanted to. That's about a 5 minutes for me. And, or I could continue with the other exercises that I've got built into this very small, but very, it covers the entire body, lower, upper body, core, all of that. So I encourage you guys to do something similar. Again, don't start any kind of physical activity that's going to affect your body if you've got any kind of health conditions or anything like that without checking with your medical provider. All right. So with that disclaimer, what you really need to know is that it gets very exciting when you're starting a new project. And after a while, it's kind of like a new romance. You get used to seeing that person. You start noticing the things that are annoying rather than the things that were amazing. And it's easy to kind of get lost in that little spiral. How do you make sure that you don't do that? You follow this very simple rule. And there are a lot of books, there are a lot of podcasts out there that are giving really good advice on how to stay motivated or how to stay committed to any, program that you're doing, anything like that. Then there's catchphrases and, little keywords that you can trigger yourself to remember their system. That's not what I'm going to give you. I'm not giving you a new system. I'm giving you one phrase, one sentence. It has 3 words in it. So it is not complicated to recall and remember, and it applies to everything, regardless of what you're doing. The problem for most of us is after that shine fades, after the honeymoon is over, finding the motivation, finding the willpower, finding the reason, remembering your why. None of that's going to work. What happens when you haven't been able to sleep the night before? You've been tossing and turning all night, but you've made a commitment that you're going to exercise first thing in the morning with that minimum exercise routine that you've set up for yourself. How do you make sure that you do it? Well, regardless of if you feel tired. I don't feel like doing it. I'm too tired. I don't feel good. I don't want to do it. I don't want to. What's the answer to that? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Doesn't matter. Don't care. I can feel like doing it or not. Doesn't matter. I'm going to do it anyway. And I get up and I go turn on the maker for the pot of tea, and I do sit-ups while it's brewing, and I go back and I pour a mug of tea, and I do the next set of exercises, and I work through that exercise routine through 1 or 2 mugs of tea. I give myself the option of taking up to a half an hour, really, to do it, but it gets done every single day, with the exception of Sundays, because there is a time where you need to have your body rest from a physical routine, and it actually benefits it. So do it anyway. Do it anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you don't feel like doing it. Doesn't matter if it's something you want to do that day at that time. You are going to do it anyway, and do it with the minimum, that 5-minute window. That's it. You can keep going if you want to, and I'll tell you what, after you get going, that's it. It's like priming the pump. As soon as you get it going, you will finish it, and you will come out of it. Yes, are you still tired? Are you still exhausted? Are you still not feeling well? Yes, but you're feeling energized. You're feeling proud of yourself. You're feeling empowered. I'm powered. I am power. That is all you need to remember. Don't feel like doing it? Do it anyway. That's it. So here we go. Let's talk about what are my 5 areas of my life. And as an example for 5 areas maybe that you want to expand, or they'll give you ideas for the areas you want to do. What I will just let you know right off the top is none of them are in what you would call the spiritual area of my life. And it is simply because every single one of these are incorporating spiritual aspects into them. So by default, the spiritual area of my life is being expanded and augmented and upgraded by doing these other things as well. And it'll make sense in just a minute. The other thing that I do is I refer to this little piece of paper throughout the day. I start with it first thing in the morning because I'm exercising first thing in the morning, and that's under physical exercise, which is the first 2 words on this list. That's all. That's the way that you start it, whether you wanted to or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Do it anyway, right? So the first area of my life, because I understand I am a multidimensional being in a physical vessel. That physical vessel must be strong, must be healthy, must be the very best that I can keep it functioning in order for me to be able to expand and upgrade anything else in my life. If you are sick, you know what exactly I'm talking about. It's impossible to do your best work of anything when you don't feel well. So keeping that firmly in mind, I encourage you to be your most healthy, strongest self. Always. Because that's what's going to give you the foundation for everything else in your life. So I have exercise, diet. That means eating as healthy as I can with the budget that I have. I eat a lot of frozen vegetables. I put them in just about everything, especially frozen kale and spinach and broccoli, because those are very high in nutritional content. Frozen vegetables and fruits can sometimes be even more healthy than the produce that you get in the grocery store, the fresh produce, depending on how long that fresh produce was sitting in a warehouse. They do pick for frozen foods at the peak of ripeness, and they are stored frozen, blanched, and frozen immediately, which kind of locks in the nutrition. So sometimes that cheaper bag of frozen broccoli is more healthy than the bunch that you get from the produce aisle. So anyways, meditation and study is also part of this physical routine. Always incorporating gratitude. So as I'm doing my exercise routine, there's a lot of things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that my body is moving, that it is able to do these exercises to begin with. I am grateful for a space that I can do them in safely and privately. There are a million different things that I can be grateful for, and I'm trying to be mindful as I'm doing the exercises. You want to do them with good form, physically, to get the best benefit out of them. You want to do them in best form mindfully as well. And a lot of times it's fun to have a soft music in the background going. I'll listen to audiobooks and that kind of thing while I'm doing these as well. So I'm getting a lot of different benefits as I'm benefiting myself by doing the exercises. So by the time I get done with it, even if it's that 5-minute minimum, I feel amazing. And that's going to be a new video as well. Just that was a little preview on that. Spoiler alert. So, and intuition, checking in with how I feel. And that works especially well with food. What is my body telling me I need to be eating right now? Do I need to have an egg breakfast or an avocado toast breakfast? That kind of thing. And just ask myself that kind of question and feel, maybe both, maybe neither, maybe something else. Who knows? But checking in with how you feel about it. What is your body telling you you need? Do you need to rest now? Do you need to get up and walk now? Being mindful of your body. So the second thing is relationships for me. I have just gotten out of working remotely from home. I've picked up a part-time job that I'm doing Monday through Friday, which is giving me an opportunity to be just a more social creature in general. After spending 3 years working remotely from home, I found it was extremely easy after COVID to stay in that hermit mode, and that's no bueno. That's not good for just about any human. Very rarely is hermit mode good on a long-term basis. So I am grateful for this new job opportunity and for more consistent income for me personally. The remote stuff was very spotty, hit and miss in terms of consistency. So relationships and financial, obviously, for that one. But just expanding my sphere of friends, of social contacts. I have new friends and friendships that I've been developing over the past year. I made a commitment to my children that I would send them daily texts. Sometimes it's in the morning, sometimes it's in the afternoon or evening, but I'm reaching out to them every day. They reply to me sporadically, and that's fine. I don't mind. I want just that channel to be open and to be expanding and to be open to expansion. And so that's the kind of thing that I'm doing, saying yes when people invite me to things that I would like to go to. It's not having to say yes to everything or anything like that. And I don't want to give that impression at all. That's where the intuition and the mindfulness come in, which is written down on this piece of paper. But that is how I am expanding in relationships, which obviously affects me spiritually and mentally. So financial is my next one. After your physical body and after your emotional body, your financial body. And finances, we know that money is an energy. That's why we call it currency, because it's a current. It it has flow, and I am learning to be a better steward. I'm not necessarily an impulse buyer, but I'm a scarcity buyer, and I'm starting to identify that in the way that I am handling my finances. So every time I go to make a purchase, when I'm going to the grocery store, am I buying this because I'm simply low on it? I still have 4 bananas. Why am I going and buying more bananas? I can go back to the store in 4 days when I'm out. Why am I having to do this now? So just asking those questions, bringing in that mindfulness and intuition, and asking myself those tough questions to begin with for me, because I haven't been asking myself that. I've simply just been making those purchases. So I have some goals, some very specific things I'm working on financially, and I'm kind of sabotaging myself as I'm doing that scarcity shopping. So being mindful of that, saying, I'm not going to go to the grocery store until I actually am out of creamer. And then I'm going to go and buy creamer. And that's all I'm going to buy unless I'm out of something else. So just being mindful of that, paying attention to it, bringing in that gratitude of thank you for letting me have the opportunity to have this new job. Thank you for the opportunity to be physically able to do this new job. All of those things, just bringing in all sorts of gratitude for those opportunities in finances, because gratitude opens the door, honey. It opens the floodgates of more profit, abundance, success, opportunity, all of that. And do I want more of that in my life? Absolutely. So of course I'm going to be doing that. I have priorities. I am a good steward. I actually wrote that down on a little sticky note and stuck it in the hallway so that I would see it coming and going. I am a good steward. And that means I'm a good steward of myself physically and emotionally. That's why I'm bringing that all in for every single step. So kind of as you've noticed, each of these steps almost have like 5 different areas that they include. Some of them are higher priority for me than others. Like the diet thing, I've been eating that way for decades. So that's kind of locked in. I don't have to incorporate it into a new system. It's already there. I'm simply piggybacking off of it and saying, I'm not going to get these certain kinds of foods, or I'm not going to be, for me, it's Greek yogurt that's vanilla flavored, and it's kind of like ice cream for me. So just getting more. Okay. I was going to say, why did the video stop? Sorry about that. Sometimes we have those little technical glitches. Anyways, all right. So that takes care of finances, which again affects all of the rest of the areas of my life. I sleep better when I know that I am in charge of my finances and not my finances being in charge of me, which affects my environment, which is number 4. Now that I am working, I have a new a new schedule basically, and a new calendar of when I'm available to do things and what kind of things I'm available to do. So I've kind of whittled down the big things. I did a big cleaning previously in the year, so now it's more like maintenance and making sure I don't have to do the deep cleaning until next spring. So staying on top of that, just taking care of the environment, specific tasks on specific days. Taking care of Miss Abby Cat, my senior Himalayan, who has been having some serious health issues lately. So just being very mindful of her health and her comfort as she's getting towards the end of her time here right now. I want to make sure that she is having the best time that she can. And so that's a big part of my environment because she is part of my environment. So that's a priority for me. And that's something that I'm putting more effort into. She's getting more treats today. Yesterday I gave it a test. I bought her, I thought they were going to be processed dried fish treats. No, they're dried fish. It's very strong smelling. And I wasn't sure that she would be able to eat the whole thing by itself, so I had to break it up in pieces. I'm going to try it today and see if she'll just eat it without me breaking it up, because I'll tell you that was disgusting. But she loved it, inhaled it. Oh my Lord, you would not believe how fast that went down. But she is a big part of my environment, and I do things like that. I'm grooming her daily, and I'm making that time allotment, 5-minute minimum. She's easily brushed in 5 minutes. She loves it. It's good for her. It's good for me. There we go. Everything works all together as it should. So whatever might be something you would like to expand and upgrade in your environment. So I've got the house maintenance and Abby maintenance. I've got a garden that needs maintenance, and just being grateful for all of that, all of those opportunities, all of the amazing chances to be working in my home, to be loving my kitty, to be enjoying my garden. So many things to be grateful for. So many things. Being mindful of that. One of the things is now that I have a new job, I am dressing for work every day and picking out my wardrobe, cooking, and getting everything all scheduled and set up for the coming week, so that as I'm doing the new work schedule, I'm not also battling things like, what am I eating for breakfast? What am I going to cook for dinner? I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I want to take care of it on the days when I'm not working. I'm also making a commitment to you guys that I'm going to upload videos on days that I'm not working. So be looking forward to seeing more of those on a more regular basis. And we are grateful for that. That's part of my environment. You guys are a priority for me. You are under creative. Well, of course you are. Which is number 5, of course, for me. And it may not be the same thing for you. It may be a mental thing where you are wanting to expand your knowledge mentally and your mental skills, or maybe work skills or something. So again, don't use my template as you are locked into it. Just make sure that you do what is the right thing for you to do. And you know what it is. So this is just an example, all right? But obviously, I'm a creative person. I'm an artist and a writer and all of that other stuff, as well as a channel and a tarot reader and all kinds of things. So the YouTube videos are in this creative mode for me. I have an invention that I'm working on marketing, getting patented. That is a huge slice of my energy and attention, to be honest. And it is something that's requiring a lot of financial as well for me. So that's one of the priorities in the financial line. But it is something that I believe in, that I believe is going to be beneficial to anybody that uses it. So I'm excited about continuing that process and looking forward to it, as well as working on new art projects. Again, I've got, several novels that I'm in the middle of, as well as a how-to book, and then the short stories that I'm working on. So I've got a bunch of different things going in creative mode, and I can't do them all. I just can't. They're on my list. And what I've done is I've dedicated a day for each one. For example, the invention thing, that really, for the marketing part, is only like a 5-minute thing max, because I've been doing it for the past year. So this is just an ongoing thing for me. The patent part of it, I've dedicated every week. I'm going to be doing 30 minutes on that exclusively. On another day, I'm going to be doing an art thing, painting, drawing, something in art specifically. On another day, it's going to be writing. So I'm doing those on a weekly basis and giving myself the option of 5 minutes up to a half an hour or an hour, however much time I want to dedicate to that, but making sure that I have that available. And that's it. That's it. Bringing in that intuition. Where do I feel like this project needs to go right now? Obviously, creative projects are going to bring in intuition always. And that's kind of the springboard for bringing in intuition for everything else in your life as well. So if you are not a creative person, but consider it an option, I would give you that as a way to consider, that you maybe include or explore putting in some creative thing into your life, your personal life in general, and see how that affects you, see how it works. Any of these areas of your life, any other areas of your life, I do, again, just advise you to consider only doing 5 things. And only doing them maybe over the 5 days. Give yourself a weekend where you're not locked into that 5x5 system necessarily, where you have the opportunity to do those other things that need to be done. The weekend projects, get those going. You wanted to clean out the garage how many months ago? Now it's cold if you're in the northern hemisphere. This may be not the best time to do it, but maybe you need to just do it anyway. But you see what I mean? You'll know the right things that need to be done in the right order for you specifically. And I do want to hear from you. So let me know if this video resonated with you, number one, if it was helpful, if you got any kind of benefit from it, if you have any questions. I don't know everything, but I do know what's working for me, and I'm a pretty, I don't want to say I'm a high maintenance person, but I'm a high energy person. There are a lot of things that I want to have going at full speed, and it's just not possible. So how do I make those things continue moving in a fashion that brings as much speed as I want to have happen at a minimum? At a minimum. I know I'm not going to get the max, but what can I accept as the new norm for me? So that's the question you want to ask for you. What is the new norm that I am able to accept without question, without any risk of failure? We're no longer setting ourselves up to fail. That's not happening anymore. This is the way you can make yourself successful in anything. The question you ask, the only question you need to ask, would I want this result even if I don't feel well? Would I want to get that summer body in December, whether I feel like it or not? Is that a priority for me? Do I want to be strong? Do I want to be healthy regardless? If the answer is yes, then you do it anyway, right? That's it. That's it. Would I want the result regardless of how I feel? Would I want the result regardless of how I feel? If the answer is yes, do it anyway. If the answer is no, what is it doing in your life? What is it doing in your system to begin with? Get rid of that. You've got enough stuff that you are on a hell yeah. So don't do that. Maybes, okay? That you don't have room for that. That is no longer a part of your life. Mediocrity is no longer a part of your life. Average does not exist. You were not made for average. You were not made for mediocrity. You were made, are made for power, for success, for abundance, for prosperity. That's your birthright. That's what you're entitled to at a minimum. So this is how you bring that abundance into your life, by choosing the things that you know without a question you want to have happen regardless of how you feel, and then do it anyway. Do let me know if that resonated and blessed you. I love you. Let me know how this goes in your life if you decide to give it a try. If you don't want to do it, don't, by any means. Just do what you know to be the right thing for you to do. I love you. Have the most amazing, fantastic day. Namaste and ciao for now.